which could be like, I think it's like right now. Yeah, I think it's right now. Howdy and aloha, everybody. This is James with Monotalk, and hopefully everybody's watching. Well, I guess it's just you and I watching right now. Anyway, we're having a live forum. Whoever wants to join can come in. I'm here with my wife, my lovely wife, uh, Stevie.
Uh,
What's your last name?
Young.
You okay? Is that okay? Is that gonna work for you? Yeah, you're like, yeah, whatever. Anyway, anyway, I we should have done the King, Young King, right? Do you think maybe? Anyway, all right. So here's what's going on. The reason I think why we are on is pretty soon Stevie's going to start throwing up some videos pretty soon. I just want to let everybody know things have been really crazy. Jobs have been crazy. Jobs been crazy. Okay, my job's been crazy. I just flew my kids out here like about a week ago. They had a wonderful time out in West Virginia, pretty much sleeping the whole time and doing nothing. But they just wanted to spend time with their dad, and they met the family over here and everything. And it was just wonderful to have them out here. They're just like, wow, this place is so small. And Chase, my 15-year-old, he basically, uh, and I hope her, what just happened? Did it stop?
Yeah.
Oh, crap. Hold on.
You had to restart the whole thing.
I don't know. Let's find out. I think it was on idle for too long. I don't get that. Anyway, okay. I haven't been on Zoom in a long time, so I apologize, everybody. Okay, so Ryan had a good time too. He ate really crappy, a lot of potato chips and junk food. But we had some good meals and took him around Charleston a little bit. And at least they got time to spend time with their dad and my new wife. And, we all had a good time. But anyway, besides that, okay. Um, I don't know if, do I need to put up the new link then to this show?
I don't know. I guess we'll find out if people try to join.
Yeah, people try to join. Let me just copy the invite and repost it just in case. All right, hang on. So it says on our title, James and Stevie are not surprised with DNC's Mafia tactics. Not surprised at all. So everybody's watching what Nico House is painfully going through. His girlfriend, I mean, the person he supports, which is Tulsi Gabbard, which I think Tulsi Gabbard is pretty legit so far. Um, she's really getting, thrown under the rug, tossed to the side, treated like a redheaded stepchild. And it's just, to us, I saw it coming. I mean, what happened with Bernie was fool me once, shame on you, fool me twice, shame on me. And I think we're going through the same thing again, also with Bernie. And the DNC, I just got to tell everybody, it's a mafia. I mean, literally, it's a mafia. And they are very, I mean, was that Jeffrey Epstein? Is that Epstein or Epstein or
Epstein.
Epstein? I mean, supposedly with the cameras working 24/7, 365 for decades, I guess the cameras failed this particular night. And this guy had he was about to open a floodgate of crap on some very high ranking people, probably especially Bill Clinton and the Clintons themselves and others. So the go ahead was given, and they took that fucker out. That's mafia like tactics. Seth Rich is a great example of that. It was a botched mugging, burglary, mugging, robbery. What? I've never fucking heard of that term in my life. And I work with my mom, who's a PI, and we've worked with lots of cases and worked with attorneys. A good friend of mine is a district attorney in Orange County next to LA, and I don't think he's ever heard of the term botched robbery.
Well, but we're talking about specifically for this. I think was the polls.
Yeah, for sure we're getting to the polls. I mean, when it comes to, there were like 17, and I'm watching Nico House. He's doing a great job covering this, but I always go back to, and I said in my last show, didn't they see this coming? If you knew what happened, or if you saw or beheld to the pathetic uh, composure and the way Bernie held himself after he pretty much did nothing to save his position or his stand in July 2016 at the DNC convention, where he just fucking folded and bent over, and it was just sad. Um, with that kind of thing happening, and then running through again, and all the rigging and collusion and the stuff that happened prior to that in Nevada, and I mean, name a fucking state. Every state that basically had no paper trail or a way to prove were the states that were most prone or had basically been fucked with by the DNC. I mean, a motorcade for Clinton pulled up to one of the voting booths that were pro Bernie, that were definitely pro Bernie, and blocked from people going in and voting for him. This is like, that's fucking mafia.
The weighing of votes, the throwing out of votes, the switching of parties. People found out, they've been registered as Democrat, and all of a sudden they're registered as independent or Republican. I mean, there's so many different instances of the rigged election, tangible proof, real proof, and here we are again.
Yeah, we're here again, and I don't.
Why do you think that is? Why do you think that they're doing it again, even though we know they did it last time?
Are you talking about people that are supporting these people that know
No.
that?
Why do you think the DNC is doing this again? Even though they got caught last time, they're doing the same stuff again. They're already starting. Why do you think that they're still doing it?
Because they know they can get by with it.
Because there's no consequences.
There's no, yes, absolutely perfect. Nobody's holding them accountable. That's the perfect, Stevie, brilliant. Nobody's holding these people accountable for these actions. Not one. I mean, all of a sudden, Jeffrey Epstein goes down. There's plenty of proof to prove that the guy was strangled. Certain vertebrae were broken. The way it happens doesn't usually happen in that way. So obviously, the guy was fucking murdered. And if you think otherwise, you're lost. And for him to have the tools necessary to hang himself, we're not supposed to be even in there. So all of a sudden, but the point is nothing happened afterwards. As soon as the one person who does the autopsy declares that it was a suicide, it was posted on MSNBC, ABC, CBS, CNN, fucking Democracy Now, PBS, everything that's been bought and sold, basically. Even the fucking Turks were like, oh, I guess that's what happened. One guy fucking said, and this just basically shows that. So what basically happened, it presented itself, is as soon as that happened, nothing happened. Nothing fucking happened. There was no uproar. There was no there was no further investigation. I mean, the defense for Epstein has tried to do certain things, because they're just trying to save face. That's all they're fucking doing. They could care less. And honestly, I think they're going to get their money.
Epstein would be a whole live stream in itself.
Oh, for sure. He would. Just imagine if he was alive and he fucking sang. That, if he, which means in prison terms that, he decided just to say, fuck you, I'm going to go to fucking prison. I'm probably going to get the electric chair, whatever. Fuck you, Clintons. Fuck you, Trump. Fuck you this. Fuck you that. And I think they saw that coming. As a matter of fact, I think they knew that was coming because there's no other way for him to protect himself than for him to divulge certain information.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
I mean, you gotta think this is a soft man. Okay, he's not ever been reprimanded. He's never been to jail. He's never gotten in trouble, and now all of a sudden he's looking at actual prison time. I mean, like just the threat of it would be enough for him to be like, okay, here's a list of names. Here's the the manifest of passengers and at the
Yep.
whole 9 yards. He's like, I got videotape all that. I mean, he's gonna start singing if he's even threatened him with like a year of jail.
Yeah, like I'll do whatever it takes to keep out of jail. Maybe we can work out some kind of arrangement or agreement or settlement or whatever the case may be. Sadly, it told the end result and what happened after the autopsy was done, and it was already set in stone that it was a suicide, is the aftermath. There was no aftermath. There was nothing. Nobody did fucking shit. So the reason why we're not surprised with the DNC acting the way they are is because exactly what Stevie said. There's nobody holding them accountable for what's MSN. I mean, for example, MSNBC just drug us through fucking 3 years of Russiagate. 3 fucking years. Jimmy's still joking about it. Door. Everybody's still whatever. They're fucking assholes. All bullshit. Fine. What do you think? But nobody's holding these fucking mainstream media outlets and the people that are connected to them accountable for wasting our tax dollars, for wasting our time, for distracting us from, I don't know, pre-K to fucking community college, free, education, or getting us, or it's just all this was basically just a distraction away from the issues that actually fucking matter. I mean, if you go to Represent Us, which I think is a great site, represent.us. Jennifer Lawrence did something there. I know nobody really likes her. How could this prima donna? Well, by the way, Jennifer Lawrence was once poor. Okay, so she kind of understands. Nobody really understands. Yes, she was.
I don't know. Everybody grew up poor.
I know. I hear that all the time. But I actually did. Okay, so.
Max is here. Hey, Max.
Hey, Max Waller. How you doing, buddy? So what we're really trying to say, and I think it's very obvious, is we're just accepting it. We're just oh, it's just the DNC. It's just the way they are. It's just the Republicans.
What happened? What was the last on the news of the DNC lawsuit? Anybody know?
Yeah, I don't think anything's happened with that of the Seth Rich case, or excuse me, not the lawsuit, but in regards to rigging and colluding and everybody getting their money back, because I spent $170 fucking dollars and I put blisters on my feet for that son of a bitch that fucking bent over in July 2016. And a lot of people were pissed off about that too, and nothing transpired out of that. It just got swept. I mean, it's like we have to go after the people that are holding the brooms and sweeping this shit under the rug.
Yeah, I mean, really, the focus needs to be whose job is it exactly to go after these guys? I mean, we have police officers that supposed to be policing our towns and stuff like that. Who polices these guys? Who keeps them on track and watches them and makes sure that when they commit a crime that they go to jail, that they have to pay a fine that actually means something and it's not just a slap on the wrist because they don't have an incentive not to. They don't have an incentive to follow the rules or to, stop doing what they're doing. I mean, we're still giving them money. We're still working for them. We're still voting for people. We're still falling within the same system. And, nothing ever comes of it. How many times do we get outraged? Outraged about the election, outraged about, our minimum wage, or, the cost of college and all this stuff. And there's just all this rage. and it's just a
Curfew.
constant cycle of rage, and we never get anywhere with it. Gun debate, where's that? We're still debating it. Healthcare debate, climate debate. That's still a debate. How is that a
Yeah.
debate? It's crazy.
Well, it seems, God, how do we're really trying to narrow and put our finger on it, but I think it's just the fact that I think it's how we're built. I think it's the way we've been conditioned as viewers, as people that are paying attention, that we just, in the back of our minds, just truly believe that, you know what, nothing's going to happen, fuck it. But that's the point where you have to say, we're sick and tired and I'm not going to take it anymore. And I brought this up a while back. We have to be in front, and I think there are people doing this, in front of MSNBC, in front of Fox, in front of CNN. They pick at these fucking places and say, we're tired of your bullshit. Okay, so like I've always said, the shield and the sword of the corrupt is the media. Okay, the mainstream media, for sure. And they need to be held accountable. And they need to know that the people are upset with the way they divide us and the way they keep us after each other and the way they bring up, it seems like every time, this is a weird one, but every time there's some big bill that needs to be passed, that should be passed, that maybe we should pay attention to, there's some kind of distraction. Like a shooting? Is it just me?
Well, those things happen all the time. It's just whether or not they want to ramp it up. Do they really want to go with that narrative? There's a shooting every other day. Do they want to play this one on TV or not? What is it? What is it that we get? It's like they have a dartboard. They just throw. It's like, what are we going to pick today? Is it abortion or guns or
Yeah.
what is it?
Right? Is it climate? What? Da, da, da. But no, you're talking about like the social. Is it LGBTQ? Is it gays? Is it races? Is it Nazis? Is it Antifa?
It's Mad Libs with the news.
It's yeah, exactly right. And it's turning into a circus, and it's been a circus. And if you talk to people from out of this country or away from this country, and I've talked to several people, and I'm still in communication with a lot of people that are not from here, and they just laugh at us. People from Europe, like Norway, people from like Sweden, people from like, I would say, a little more savvy or socially more intelligent in a sense, where they just go, you guys are just so worked. You're so fucking
They're laughing at our
dense.
That we put up with this. Like France is over there like, y'all still ain't in your vests? Like, what are y'all doing? Like,
yeah.
Like, French don't play around.
No, they don't.
They will bring out the guillotines. They will bring out the vests. They don't care.
Guillotines, the vests. I mean, at the time of 2008, 2009, 2010, when the recession happened, it was so bad. I think it was Iceland, right? Iceland. They fucking went after the banks. Those people got sent in jail, in prison. Our guys, JP Morgan, Bank of America, all these places that Obama bailed out, all these fucking scammers that knew what was going to happen, they got a slap in the wrist. What was it, like $50 billion? They could fart that. That's something they could do. What do you call that? A nose burger? When you like shoot a
snot rocket.
They could snot rocket that out. Anyway, not to get too graphic, but I think the point is that we're really trying to make. I mean, are you surprised? I mean, Max, you're right here. Are you surprised? Is anybody really surprised at what's going on? I just tweeted this. Is my live stream not being tweeted? It should be.
He was just retweeting it.
Oh, thank you, bro. I appreciate that. Let me see if I just totally stopped this. Yeah, I kind of did. But anyway, there's got to be a point. There has to be a place or something that we need to do. And I think I'm just scratching the surface here. But as soon as something happens that is so blatantly corrupt, so blatantly uh,
I,
insinuates rigging or collusion or completely presents itself as just being mafia like tactics, we need to demand transparency. We need to demand, completely demand that we are notified of what's factually happening. We're taxpayers. We fucking pay these people, legislators, judiciaries, executives, to fucking give us the information so we can make calculated decisions as citizens to vote in the right way. But they don't. And the fucking mainstream media, you know, just continues to distract us. But what are we going to do when the next Epstein happens? What are we going to do when the next Tulsi Gabbard gets fucking rigged and colluded and scammed, completely scammed out of a fucking debate? What are we going to do when, I mean, it's like nothing's happening. We're going to talk about it. We're going to joke about it. Jimmy Dore, we're going
well,
to
I mean,
play about it. We need to have an active um, place to go where we all come and we talk about these things and not even talk about it, but organize and come together so we can go out to Channel 4 News or Channel 5 News. And even though, and this is, I think, a good idea, is we should pick it. It doesn't matter where you pick it, but pick it. We demand transparency. We demand facts. We demand the truth. No more hyperbole, propaganda, fucking uh, laid claims, and all these, I think, dangerous narratives that keep and talking points that pin us against each other, and not not put us in the direction that we should be. Because of course it's all distractions. But what I'm actually trying to get to is, I think that's a good idea. Picketing, like when Verizon,
like when they picketed CNN.
yeah, and then Verizon got picketed too back a year or two ago when net neutrality was trying to fuck up everything, and there were some people actually going to each Verizon to stop that from happening. So there should be something happening at these stations uh, when these people come in. Why are there? Because they have to ask themselves these questions. So Joe Blow or Mary Jane, whatever, those are two probably partying motherfuckers, right? They go into the newsroom every day, right? But they see a picket out in front, and it's not just on Mondays and Tuesdays. It's every fucking day for 3 days, for a week, for 2 weeks, or however how long, and it just keeps going. And they're starting to go, well, what the fuck are they doing? What are they talking about? So then they interview us, and then we get the word out. We're tired of the bullshit. We're tired of the Russiagates. We're tired of the distractions. We want full, comprehensive, universal health care for all. We want these regime change wars to stop. And the profiting of the MIC. We want LGBTQ rights. We want pre-K to at least community college free education. You know, we're sick of the shit that you keep putting out there.
I mean, let's recap this for a second. 2016, they threw away votes. They said, "Oh, you want this guy as your president? Screw you. This is who we want as president." And they did whatever they had to do to make sure that they had their person, Hillary, as their nominee. They didn't care that they put Trump in office by doing that. And to cover up and to put a narrative for the shady shit that they did to us, they are risking a world war, a nuclear war with a major power. And they don't care. All for what? So they can lose again?
Yeah.
So they can lose again. That's what they're willing. They have demonstrated without a shadow of a doubt they don't give a shit what happens to us, what we want, what kind of casualties they create in the process. Doesn't matter to them. Why? What are we gonna do? Because I don't know. I don't know because they just keep doing this stuff that and killing people with their senseless wars, killing people because but we don't have health insurance, making people live in poverty. I mean, horrific things that are happening, and we just keep showing up to work, and we keep voting Democrat, and we keep doing what, exactly, just going along and getting along. We're not, we have to inconvenience them.
Yeah.
We have to make this painful for them.
Yeah. So, and I've brought this up before. It's I don't know. See, Congress is numb now. HORs, Senate, House of Representatives, all that stuff. Candy wants me to start advertising for her. And all these, I had some ways of either picketing in front of Congress, but they're numb to that. They're used to it. It's like, just not a fucking picket. But if you go after CNN and their main corporate building, if you go after Fox News and their main corporate building, and but you need to make sure you're represented the right way. You need to not be a part of fucking Antifa or some white group that's going to come in and fuck everything up. You need to hold your ground, and you need to make sure that you wear a particular item or items on your body to indicate that's what you represent. You're here to make sure there's transparency, there's facts. These fucking media outlets are held accountable if they waste tax dollars. I mean, there's no apology yet from fucking Rachel Maddow because nothing ever happened. I'm watching Randy Rhodes and Stephanie Miller. They're still spewing out the same shit, and it's really sad, and it's pathetic. So I'm not surprised. You're not surprised. These people are going to keep doing what they do to distract us. They're going to keep doing what they do to put out a narrative to keep us distracted. They're going to keep doing what they do and using the fucking mainstream media to pin us against each other, not just to do that, but also to steer us in directions that are worthless, that do nothing.
Having us chasing our tails.
Yeah, exactly, like fucking stupid puppy dogs. Which, okay, puppy dogs are stupid. I'm sorry, but it's fucking funny. It's funny, and they're laughing at us. They're like, look at all those little puppy dogs. They're just fucking chasing their tails around.
They were chasing that $15 an hour.
$15 an hour, and by the way, $15 an hour is stupid. If you're green, sorry, go for 17, because then you'll settle for 13. If you're going for 15, you'll probably settle for 12. Right? Okay. I'm not surprised. Gosh, how many? I don't have a lot of followers like you do, babe. I just need more followers.
We got 6 people. We got Chad and Max.
Didn't I open it up for discussion?
We're
Nobody
all-
wants to come on. And
The only site hook up the branches
Who?
hill is during the annual government shutdown.
all right, Chad's on there. Chad and I were going to discuss him. I think he wants to run Green Party for a pretty significant role. I also have another person that's asking me to do the same for the Green Party. Look, the more people we get out there, I really don't care. When it comes down to it, I don't care. If you want to run, I just think the Green Party needs more publicity, and I thought that Jesse would be the greatest thing for them. I'm sure there are others that believe the same way I do, and there's a sect or a cult that doesn't, sadly, and it's still not for sure. I was telling Will, I said, Will, why did you take down the Jesse Ventura 2020? Well, I don't think he's doing it. Well, we don't know. But we still don't know.
Change the name of it.
No, I wouldn't change it. You shouldn't have changed it. But anyway, I already gave my thoughts on that. Chad said, I'm running already on the candidate list. What? Chad is, well, that's pretty cool. Good job, brother. Okay. Do you want to enlighten us on what's going on there, Chad? And we had this discussion about Chad. And Chad, I want to let you know, it's not going to be easy. And I know, running for that position is like, trying to shoot the moon with a rubber band. And I know you know that, okay? Because it's never going to make it there. However, if you're trying to get publicity and if you're trying to move people towards the Green Party, that makes sense. But I'm going to tell you right now, bro, be tactful. Be calm. Be cool. Be collected. Hold yourself. And I know you like the excitement and the roar, and people need to be pissed off. But one of the reasons why I like Tulsi Gabbard, I'll tell you right now, is she's always keeping her cool. I mean, have you ever seen her like lose it? No.
No.
Have you ever seen Joe Biden lose it? Every
Okay,
fucking
that's
time
not
he's
fair because Joe Biden doesn't have feelings unless there's small children around. That's the
oh,
only time that he feels anything.
I mean pedo Joe.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty sad. Pretty fucking sad. The only time he feels feelings is when little children are. Oh, that's pretty low, man. And then Kamala Harris, right? What the
Oh,
fuck?
yeah, she's just a part of the board. Just there's just
She's
nothing.
she's part of the Borg, like the Borg that'll come onto your ship and like transfer you into like this bio person that has no feelings or no soul. That's what you're talking about, exactly.
It's all part of the
It's
collective.
it's all a part of the collective, right? That's fucking genius. Okay, so who's Buttigieg? What the fuck is that
But
guy?
I don't have no idea how to say his
Buttigieg.
name.
I can't even say his name.
Buttigieg.
Like Buddha. Okay. Anyway, so Chad's going for it. Good for you, Chad. I'll help you with a few things. I don't know. I can help. We can give you a few pointers, do a few things, maybe do a couple shows, do a few shows. I'm also helping somebody else on the greens pretty soon. I'll be talking with them tomorrow. I know he knows he really doesn't have a chance, but he just wants to get out there. I wish the guy would run for House.
Well, I mean, look what Jill Stein did for the Green Party. She got her name out there.
Yeah, she made a difference. I think
She brought a lot of awareness to the Green Party.
yeah,
I
she
think.
did. If exactly, if they can do it right, right, then definitely, you know. Are you in? Turn on your mic.
Give me a sec.
Oh, it says that was my. What's up, Chadwick? Yeah, I've
Hello,
been in that room. I've been in
check
that room.
in the
Check,
house.
check, check.
Sure. Well, here's the thing. I know that there's mechanisms set up for them to cheat, for them to keep they've got all that mapped out,
Yeah.
and we know at the end of the day they're going to go to the Supreme Court, and they've stacked the deck however they can, right?
Right.
But the one they can't do is stop people from talking over the internet. And yes, the Green Party needs to be a viable candidacy, but it's not going to be with like a half-ass Howie when you have actual co-chairs on his campaign. So there's no different from the way that the DNC is and the way that Howie's campaign is, the way that the Green Party is, really, to be honest, because
Yeah.
there's these people in these little positions, and we know because we've talked about it many a
Yep.
time. We've seen Eric Brooks, we've seen how they've done. Michael Trudeau is another one of those guys.
Yeah.
These people are toxic, toxic. So, and when you have
Yeah.
toxic people in your party in these leadership positions, running people, giving people tasks, greeting people with animosity and I mean, he's a jerk. Well, those
It's
guys are
like a
jerks.
defense. It's like an instant defense mechanism instead of having like me. I'm like aloha. I'm like, hey, welcome. Let me tell you about us. But then they're just like, they grill you like, what are you about? You were a Democrat? Were you a Republican?
Oh,
Then
right,
we
yeah,
don't want to have anything to do with you.
well, and that's what they do. It's gatekeeping.
Yeah.
It's shitty. I was just they shared something on one of the green pages, and it was about trying to get ballot access to keep ballot access in Arizona, and a guy Tim, which is on a code or the PSCS whatever, he's a chair.
Right.
It mentions that doesn't National have a plan to do it as a whole, rather than one person individually trying to get ballot access, for each state, because everything that's being pumped out concerning ballot access is basically just Howie, in that manner. Well, he got attacked automatically. Boom, Michael Trudeau got on there, and the first thing is like, okay, we need people to call. Can you call in Arizona? And then that wasn't the conversation, and So, there was a little back and forth, but he kept saying that, and it was super rude. And I ended up, I can't even remember what I commented, but I got screenshots. They actually ended up deleting my comments. This is on the Green Party US page. They deleted my comments and they deleted the whole thread. What happened is there was another girl, and I got it. She had come on there and said, Chad, since you're running, what is your plan to get ballot access? And or do you have one? I said, absolutely, I do. And yes, I'm putting it all together to map out, and I'm going to launch it. And right there, I said, you're absolutely right. You have every right to ask me because I am running. I'm a candidate.
Right.
And then, because of the way that Michael Trudeau had come at him for just having the conversation, took that as her being um, kind of snooty to me, like, do you have, which that's the kind of theme or thread or pulse that you're going to get when you have people treating you like that. That's the environment. That's
Right.
the variable, the dynamic. So I said, well, first of all, and then so they started going at it a little bit. And I said, wait a second. I said, she has every right to ask me if I have a plan for ballot access because I say I'm a leader. I say I'm running to be the leader of the party. I'm running to be the nominee.
Right.
You have every right to ask me. And I said, he has every right to feel defensive because of the way Michael came on when he had valid criticism or a valid question. So I said, see, look, that's where Michael, his toxic behavior created a dynamic for you guys to go at it when that doesn't need to be like that. You see what
No,
I'm
of
saying?
course not. No.
So you could see in real time. So they ended up deleting my comment, deleting the whole thread. They actually left the last two things I said, which it looks like like I'm talking to nobody because there's no correspondence before. But I got screenshots. That's the whole thing. And anybody out there watching, anybody Green Party, get your screenshots together, get your correspondence together, get your stuff together because we are going after the toxic people. That is the first step. Is actually focusing on the party itself internally. Says if we're going to have toxic people in these leadership positions, then the party is not going to grow and people from the outside are not going to come in because they're not going to feel comfortable. And not only that, it's a waste of time. Who wants to put their energy in? But anyways, long story short, I got you. Want to go ahead?
Okay. So so
I'm laying on the ground
so
right now.
so
But
what you're saying, and I think this is a good point, is there are people that believe that there should only be a certain type or certain kind. They have to fit the proper green mold. But when you have only 250,000 registered greens compared to, what is it, 80 million registered Democrats and Republicans, you need fucking whoever you can get, and being super selective is just not smart.
it's
Let
not
them,
about
like I've always said, and I know you know this, is
it's not
no matter
it's
what their problems are, no matter what their issues, no matter what their questions, let them in first and then educate them.
well, see,
And
it's
then
not
see if the information you give them will be helpful to them.
it's not even about being selective. It's about a hierarchy. It's about coming in and listening to what they say, how they want to do it. My whole comment. So well, point being is they deleted this is a few days ago. Today or yesterday, I got a comment from Michael Trudeau. All the other stuff obviously was deleted, and he said, "Well, went through this whole mess about why you should do this,
Mm-hmm.
like versus doing it individually or as a party, whatever." And then he said, "Well, what's your plan? How are you going to bring the balance?" Again, it's very condescending. It's rude. It's not the way you're supposed to build a party, build it. So I said, first off, is I'm going to identify the toxic people. Your behavior, you're part of the problem. Once we get people like you out of the way, it's going to be easier to make the party move because anybody that wants to put their input in they're being stopped and they're not being allowed to say this is what I'm good at, this is my expertise, this is how I can help. Everybody doesn't want to get on the phone like it's 1987 and call people. You got to get new people, go to these colleges, but the internet 95% can be done right here on the phone. 95%.
Yeah.
And that's the part
Texting.
that's the part that the party is missing out. If we don't digitize, if we don't go full scale This way,
Mhm.
we're missing the opportunity to do what the other parties, well, they can't do, because
Yeah,
remember, most of what they're doing is based upon using, of course, the mainstream media as
yeah,
the
that's their
what,
biggest weapon. But
right.
they're utilizing. They've got people planted. I know they do.
Oh, of
Uh,
course.
in social media and YouTubes and freaking what's
Well,
that
I mean,
other Twitters and not
they've
just
got
Twitter,
that's what
but
it is. They got 6 ways to Sunday to screw
jeez,
you.
what's the other name of where people go and do gaming a lot? Big gaming with
Twitch.
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 Sorry, Twitch.
Yeah.
And there's a few others like that out there too. Now, so your point is huge. We do need, but let's just try this. Let's ask them because
There's no asking with these
no, no, no.
people.
Okay,
Look at what they're doing. Look at Margaret Flowers is a co-chair, and she's on Howie's campaign.
Howie Hawkins.
There's no difference from a
Yeah.
Donna Brazil or a Debbie Wasserman Schultz. How they're using the resources. They're going around now saying that Howie is the original Green New Dealer, as if he was the one who came up with the original Green New Deal when it
No,
was
he's
a
not.
guy from Europe.
He's
Yeah,
not.
so I'm saying they're misleading. The whole process is crazy, and I'm not the only one that has an issue. First of all, that's just an example. It's not even to focus on that. It's just to show, hey, all the toxic people, this leadership is coming around Howie. It's just so funny
Okay.
how it all
So,
rises to
They,
the top
what
around
would
that.
be the best route to? Because me and Jimmy were discussing this the other night. He keeps saying the same things to these people over and over and over and over and over again, and nothing's getting through to them. There's nobody budges, nobody listens. It's just all in deaf ears, and it's just like, do we go around those people? Is there a process to like get somebody else in their position, or who's in charge of that? And like, is there a way that we can? I mean, because I don't know any other way to say it or how. I mean, because obviously Jimmy's tried every single which way to get these people just to update just little tiny things.
Jim's been respectful,
He's
kind.
tried every way of coming at this, and
So
it's
so
just
well, and that's the point. Ever since I've been in, and I've been the fly on the wall too. Ever since I've been dealing with the Green Party, it's been this. I've hit every wall with this. There's not even a dialogue to say, okay, the primary, right? The primary is supposed to be where you get people hyped, because the presidential race is the Super Bowl of the races. So
mm-hmm.
that's what you can get people excited about. That's one of the things. And that we went over this whole thing with Jim, but the
Yeah.
way Eric Brooks treated him, the way that their whole crew just talked down like they're the shit. So that girl Andrea, which was the co-chair in Colorado, she did her dirty stuff there. She's the campaign manager for Howie. So what they wrote this letter at the beginning and drafted Howie to be on it. So these people got together in order to make him
What he
basically
is.
the presumptive nominee.
Yeah.
So the whole process, and you know what I was thinking? The reason why Jesse's not running is because of them, because they were vocal and openly
I
declared.
guarantee. I
Well,
guarantee.
why would anybody want to come into a party that's treating them like shit and says, "Oh, listen, I'm a libertarian, I'm right wing." That's what I'm getting. They're telling me that, like, it's so backwards in how the attitude. The Green Party's the four pillars, right? We got social justice. You know them. You got social justice. You got nonviolence. You got um, damn, I can't even remember. Um, I'm gonna pull it up. Yeah, ecological wisdom, social justice, grassroots democracy, and nonviolence. I guess I
Yeah.
should know that. Um, I think that those four things should be able to bring damn near everybody in to feel comfortable with that, because it covers everybody. It's the basis. The Green Party needs to be the party that creates the dynamic, the way, the tone, how to talk to people. And so now I understand your concern too is about the way that I address people and my language and how I have to cuss people out sometimes. Um, well, and so right with with that, I agree, because trust me, I don't want to have to cuss somebody out. I would rather have an honest dialogue, an honest conversation, even if I get loud and flare up, because that's just me anyways.
Right.
Yeah, well, you remember Howard Dean, right? It just took one yeah to take
All
him. So
Howard Dean, yeah.
we don't want you to have like a yeah
Well,
moment
here's the
where
thing. Well,
take
here's
it
the thing.
out of
There's
context.
Listen, you got to expect that. I've got so much shit out there. Listen. I lived in Miami. I'm a party guy. I've lived my life. There's a lot enough that if they want to fuck with me, they can. I'm not worried about that, because that's the difference. That's the difference. Is I'm not a politician. Uh, that's one of Trump's biggest strengths, is he don't give a fuck. Like his whole thing hasn't it doesn't have anything to do. Of course, on the flip side, he does have a huge ego that he does need in order to keep stroked in his own way. So yeah, I'm not worried about that shit. Good, go with it. If that's gonna bring you to my point, to say, if you're more worried about me and my antics rather than the message, what I'm trying to relay, the conversation that says, hey, we all are saying the same damn thing, and we all have the same problem. The corrupt elite, these same families, it's the same families, it's the same people, it's these same little clubs, it's the same thing. Same thing. We have to break the two-party system, and if we don't do that, nothing is moving forward. So people can get on board with that. And I even look at it like this, because I'm in the South, right? I've been trying to pay attention. What are people? Why are they following? What was supporting Trump? Why are they supporting the Democrats? And what it is it's the devil type attitude. In that two-party mentality, that two-party system, you have to pick a side. Just like the Super Bowl, even if it's not your team, you're going to pick the team you hate the less. That's the way the dynamic's set up, and everything's boilerplate issues. Everything is wedge issues that make you decide which side, but they're both for pro war, pro money, pro that stuff. You can't change shit if you're propping up these same people. So to me, in my head, from the way that I'm looking at it, you have to break the two-party system. Bernie propping up the same people that gave us Trump is not going to get us there. Just saying we need health care is not going to get us there. The ideas, everything we need, the best things, changes we could do are out there. The people that have focused on these things, but we're not having an honest discussion, because we can't have an honest discussion, because the media, the propaganda, and because everybody wants to pick a side. If we don't break the two-party system, where it says, hey, everybody's right to an extent, because people are arguing different points. One person's arguing how, and the other one's what, or who. It's like the Colin Kaepernick thing, right?
Uh,
Why he's doing it is the most important part, but they're focused on how he did it, which was the way that you're supposed to protest. You're supposed to get attention with that. So people can be upset all they want to about how, and you're supposed to say, I understand, because when somebody has a symbol or something that they feel close to, they feel uncomfortable when that it is such a pillar in their life. So it's to understand why people. So that is, they're worried about how. Colin's worried about why. So if you're arguing, if someone's arguing how and someone's arguing why, you're never going to get to a point of communication, because you're talking about two different parts of it. Because you're supposed to say, yes, you're allowed to be uncomfortable with this. That's the point. You're getting the street. When somebody's marching the street and they're protesting, they're supposed to disrupt the daily life, because if you don't disrupt the daily life, people aren't seeing what's happening. Because the media, they wash it out. That's why Jay-Z going into this Super Bowl is damage control, or the NFL. It's damage control. That's what he is. Jay-Z, anything black, he attaches himself to make him Mr. King Black. That's his whole thing. They buy and sell black culture. It's a commodity. It's Hip hop music is the biggest music in uh, in the U.S. It's the biggest. It's surpassed rock. They use black culture. Look at the Kardashians. Look at how they You get where I'm going. If we don't break the two-party system,
They use their butts to get publicity.
well, they exploit black men. They exploit the black culture,
Oh
and
yeah,
they I mean, it is what it is. But here's the thing: is what we celebrate, and there's nobody out there saying, "Hey, this shit's wrong." You know what I mean? This shit's
yeah. Well, there's a lot
this,
of okay. We were going over this. There's a lot of things wrong. We're just talking about corruption in the DNC. Well, there's tons. Each party has their level of corruption. What I
right.
find very amazing is the Republicans. They're just fucking corrupt. Period. It's like in it's I don't think they're cheating. They just tell you they're going to pay the rich people, and trickle down's the way to go. The DNC is different. Is
They
they
do the same things, but they try to be like, man, I would have been there. I would have helped you, buddy. But
yeah I was thinking about you though.
those Republicans ganged up on me.
And then the Green Party, the way I've seen the Green Party is like, I don't really know what we're doing right now. Where are we going? How are we going to do it?
Because there's no real leadership because
No, there's
it's
not.
almost it's an echo chamber.
Yeah.
And let me make myself clear. It's not that there's not good people in the party that have
No,
great
there's great people in Green Party.
great ideas and that they've been there and that they care about the party. The problem has to do with the whole hierarchy system and the way that we deal with it. The Green Party should have already had a blockchain voting system for the party.
Oh yeah.
Period.
I mean,
We need to have we so okay. One of the things that I'm doing again, first thing is to organize the party. You identify and remove the toxic people from leadership. First off, the people that are keeping people from coming in and the people that are treating people like shit. They need to be addressed and how they're doing it, the subtleties and the overtime and even the over dramatic shit. We need to address
But
that and then organize our resources. So I'm going to put together a Green Party band. We're going to put all our musicians together. We're going to have every state is going to have basically music to when we have events, we have different things. We can use our resources. We can organize them, our people, their skill sets to go out and help people.
use music.
Well, music, art.
That's
That's exactly what
that's a good idea. That's a great
what's
idea.
been used in. I mean, throughout history, it is the biggest vehicle we have, and now we have this we can
Right?
communicate. This is our government right here. We can make sure everything's taken care of.
Right.
And since in the
So
party,
let me just say. Let me just say. So I'm
yeah.
going to spend a little time. There's a lot of stuff I do. I know you got a lot to say because you always do, and that's very good about you.
And now
But
now
but
now I have a right or a reason to say something.
now you have purpose, okay, and that's huge. So I'm going to help you for sure. I'm also going to help a few others out there. Probably going to help Adolfo and hopefully a few other people that need my help. But the main focus is unity, and I talked about this all the time. Now we have to give people a chance to be a part of the Ohana. You
Well,
have to
some
now
some
now now hold on. Now I know we united we stand, divided we fall. Period. So if they want to be divided and use a divisional tone, then we don't want them
right.
because we need to be united in doing what? And I'm just going to go over the things that and this is in guaranteed health care, clean energy, quality education, uh, ending poverty, raising wages, progressive taxation, affordable
That,
housing, transportation,
that
Green New
stuff.
Deal. I mean, all
See,
that stuff. And by the way, that's from Howie Hawkins.
well, but
Okay,
see, that's the
but
thing.
the thing is all of us. Hold on, all of us want the same things. There is common ground. The problem is, and I'm going to say this because I know I'm at least 89.8% correct. We need it. Everybody needs it. I don't know anybody that doesn't want full comprehensive health care with no copay. I don't know anybody that's sick of these uh, these wars that the military industrial complex is sucking $40 billion a month from our money. And I mean the list goes on and on. So there's common ground. If they don't want to come together, and a great place to be is the Green Party, that has to be our motto.
Well, here's the thing. Ignoring your party's corruption is condoning it.
No,
There are
we're not. I'm not saying that.
Well, no,
I'm
but
not
that's
saying
what I'm saying
no.
is that there are certain people now that are no longer going
Yeah,
to be in
yeah.
these positions
Okay.
because they have
Well then we'll
they
we'll,
have
we'll, we'll
well,
ask
I
them
mean
the simple
well, I mean here,
questions.
let me say that
Okay.
it, under my leadership because those toxic things are not going to be in place. Those toxic people, you're not going to have Margaret Flowers stacking the deck saying, "I don't care. I'm going to do it right in front of you, and I don't care." There's so many unethical things going on that it's ugly. And anybody in the media, if they actually did some real reporting, if they actually did some real research, they could point that out, and it would make the
Yeah.
first of all, it would break the party
It would
even
break a
more than
lot of parties. Every party has just a
well,
immense
I'm
amount
saying
of
the
corruption.
Green Party is not going to be taken serious
Yeah.
if you let them do like this
Yeah.
half-ass cheating in order to make him the nominee.
Yeah.
So,
Exactly.
which is awesome for me because I understand that it's that toxic people that the leaders, the people that are getting the energy.
Yeah. But let's do this first, okay?
Even
Um,
all this stuff's already been done.
before we give it people a guillotine,
It's too
let's
late.
show them before we
It's
give them
too,
the stick. We
it's
got to
not.
show them the carrot first. I don't care. You have
No,
to do it.
we're talking about people in leadership position that have been in leadership position that have been hogging these things, that have been doing these
Yeah.
unethical practices,
Yeah.
that have been okay with this type of behavior, and then have pushed it on the rug.
Yeah.
For me,
No,
I'm not
no, no. But one last draw. So we build. So you build you're going to build your base.
going to
We're
identify
going to
the
get
toxic
people.
people and
I
remove
get
them
it.
from
I
leadership,
get it.
regardless of how long they've been in the
No, I
party.
already get you, Chad.
Regardless,
Chad, I totally get you. I totally
right?
get you.
There's
But
there's
here's
no
the thing.
excuse. There's no excuse
Yeah,
to
yeah.
be on a
But
coach
you have to
and
give
be on
them a
a campaign.
chance to get it.
Ask you,
Let me give you a point. Let me give you a
no,
point.
the
Let me hold
co-chair,
on, Chad.
co-chair,
Chad.
and co-chair and a campaign manager. No,
Chad.
I'm saying think about that. Think about that because
Okay.
what you're doing, you don't want, you didn't like when Debbie Wasserman Schultz or Donna Brazile
No, of
publicly.
course not. Of
I
course
mean,
not.
is that not unethical?
Yeah. Okay.
Are
Okay.
you
But
okay now? Are you okay with the
no.
unethical from
Yeah.
a stacked deck with all the
No.
members of the party that's been in there for a long time?
So,
They're saying
but
we are okay
draw
with
the
it.
line. But the thing is what you're saying, and I get it.
That's what I'm.
How
That's
many?
what.
You're saying how many lines do we need to draw for these fucking people? I get that. I get that. We can't
For
keep drawing.
ourselves. For ourselves.
We can't keep drawing lines and let these people keep doing the same fucking things that they
Okay.
did to me, that they did to you, that they do to Will, that they do to so many fucking people out there, and they keep the fucking party tiny. But the thing is even if even if we start to gain more notoriety and a bigger base and more people that start to listen that hey, we're just here for common ground, people to come together, going through the issues. You know, you're going to come in, you're going to have questions. We get that the welcoming Ohana committee, whatever we are, we have to, we can't completely close the door
It's not
because
about completely closing
yeah,
the door.
okay, good,
It,
then they're good.
it's about identifying and making sure that these people know that they can't
Yeah,
be that way,
yeah,
that they can't be in those
yeah,
positions, and
yeah.
that first
Yeah,
these
we're not going to
I don't
exile people totally and completely.
there needs to be poster children for
No,
the corruption, for
yeah,
the
yeah. No,
toxic.
I get it. But at a certain point,
And
I for sure.
it's
For
not
at a
no,
certain point, for
it's not
sure.
my fault. It's not my
Yeah,
fault that these people that have been in the party for so long, Howie Hawkins has from the beginning and hasn't took the time to address the issue with all these things and is okay with this type of attitude and is okay with misleading people about who created the Green New Deal and how it started. You can look at the Green Party page and they're going to tell you what it is. But it's not, it's Russia. He got Russia. He's
yeah.
Russia Gator. Um,
The Russia Gators.
oh, he's a what is it? Assange. His big thing about Assange was, oh well, he shouldn't have told the Trump boys to contest the election. Um, who's what's his
That's what
name? Is
Howie Hawkins said.
yeah, Assad is the brutal dictator. He's on the Assad. He's super. He name drops. He name drops Jimmy Hoffa. Do you understand what I'm saying? He
What?
named
What? No. Here,
Yes.
check this out. You got to hear this. When you get a chance, I'm gonna get going because I gotta get up. I gotta get up early in the morning. But listen up. When he was at, I think it was the debate, or he was introducing himself, or something in Minnesota recently. People got up and walked out because he was talking about some stuff that was just really kind of wacky. And I kind of watched some of it, and it's as he was speaking, he was a fucking. It was like a fucking word salad. I was like, "What the fuck is this guy?" Do you remember? Did you see it? Yeah, it was fucking ridiculous. I was like, "What the fuck is this guy talking about?"
You gotta
So
let me-
anyway, so we really need to be careful on who we're voting for. We need to make sure these people are concise. They're fucking direct.
you,
They,
you need to know what they're doing. Like, see, some of this stuff is like it's so underhanded and so like sly that you don't even understand what it means. When you
no, it's just stuff
when
that
you
nobody understood. That's all.
well, it's just I mean, it's frustrating.
It
It's
is.
frustrating, and
We're gonna have
that's
another night. We're coming back on. We're gonna start. It's been super hot out here. You know, you've been part of it. But we're gonna start moving and grooving, and we'll talk to you and start getting you in the right direction.
oh, I mean,
I'll
no, I
be
mean,
I'll be looking forward to at least 1 to 2 shows a week.
and there's a
Now
debate. There's a
coming
debate
up.
coming up in September too.
Yeah, for sure. We're gonna see that for sure. And I gotta get going. You good? We're good. Hey, it was good
Awesome.
talking to you. Everybody that's here, aloha nui.
ChadWilson.us running for the Green Party presidential nomination. I don't put up with bullshit. I am your cannabis candidate.
Do you
2020.
have? Listen. Do you have your a link you want to send me real quick? I can put in my notes.
It's ChadWilson.us.
Really? That's it? Pretty simple.
Pretty simple.
Yeah, pretty simple. I'm gonna put that in right now. ChadWilson.us.
No bullshit.
No bullshit.
No bullshit candidate. So no, I'm trying to get people excited and pumped up, and I'm trying to create the platform, the idea, what we're doing is going to be something that we can do even if we don't get in the White House, because we're organizing our resources as we go around the country, as we pull people in, we find out what people do. We can create these worker co-ops. We can with all these industries, including agriculture, including labor, all these things. We should be able to do so much just by having a strong organizing team helping people. I mean, this is everything right here. The party,
All
the
right,
parties.
we're going to discuss it more. It's good to have you on. I know that's a very powerful tool, but we got to be careful with it, and we've got to have checks and balances, right? Checks and balances. Okay. Anyway, I'm going to get going. I'm going to play the song, and I'm out of here. Thank you for
All right.
being here, Chad. Good seeing you again, bro.
You too.
Good seeing you. Say bye to Chad. Starting the video. Howdy and aloha. Welcome to